welcome back. If you haven't watched my first video, please do so. If not, welcome to my channel. I'm Brittany and this is Brittany Explains It All. So this time, as you can see by the title, I'm talking about UT Austin. This is my alma mater. This is where I went to undergrad and got my bachelor's degree, and I hated it. So you're probably watching this because either you're thinking about going, you're currently enrolled, your kid's gonna enroll, you've heard a really amazing things, maybe you're terrified about going. Either way, congratulations, good luck, or depending on what you think. So I went in 2003, so quite a bit ago, about 20 years ago. I know I don't look that old, but I am. And I majored in sociology with a concentration in criminology, and it was really, really, really bad. The institution itself is amazing. Hug 'em horns. I still am very proud of my institution. However, there's a lot of things to consider when you're thinking about a university. And so more than me sitting here bashing the institution, which I'm not gonna do, I wanna talk about college in general and how you pick an institution. I have worked in higher education for 15 years, so I know a lot about the topic, and I think it's more important when picking an institution that you think about your experience, what you want to gain from it, and how you're going to fit into the institution. So there are a few things that I point out with my students when I talk to them about picking an institution. One thing, most important thing that I did not do when I was picking UT as my institution of choice was visit the school. I did never, ever, ever step foot on the UT Austin campus before I decided to go there. It was close to home for me. I was a daddy's girl, and so I decided to go to school there. My sister ventured off, went to a school 6 hours away, and loved it. So visit your school, take a tour, see if you can see yourself there with the student body, if you can imagine yourself there on campus. Look around, look at the city itself. Can you imagine there as a resident of the city? Because you're not only going to be at the school, but you're going to be in that city as well. So imagine yourself as a resident of the town or city where your institution is actually housed. So visit the school. If you don't have access to the school because it's going to be a flight away or quite a bit of miles away, check out institutions that are the same size, number of students enrolled, the same size campus, and that'll give you a better feel. But if you can get on that exact campus, that's the best thing to do. Also, think about what major you want to choose. UT Austin did not have the major I wanted. I wanted to major in criminal justice. I'm a true crime junkie, and I could not major in that at UT Austin. They did not offer that as a major, and they still don't. That's why I had to navigate my way through the different majors they did offer and find sociology and then find my concentration in criminology. So it took quite a bit. I changed my major a million times and eventually found that major. So that sounds silly, make sure they have your major, but you'd be surprised how many students will tell me they want to go to a certain institution and then don't even realize that major doesn't exist. There are some majors that are pretty much everywhere you want to go, but you still want to check into it to make sure. And then don't pick your school because you think that it is the best of the best. UT Austin is known for being the best in a lot of things, but that doesn't mean it's going to be the best for you. I always tell students, just because a school is ranked really high in certain thing doesn't mean it's going to benefit you. So if you go to a school that is number one in, let's say, architecture, but you are a C- student, that doesn't help you very often get a really good internship or a good job opportunity. But if you go to a school that's maybe not ranked number one in the nation, but has a really good architecture program, and you become the president of the architecture club, or you design an architecture club, or you get a really good internship because you have a high GPA, and you come out of that institution, you're probably going to have a good job lined up because you've shown your leadership abilities and your ability to get a good GPA and come out of the institution as a leader. And as a great student. So it behooves you to have a good school that provides you with the education, but it's better for you to come out as a great student than just have a shiny, cool institution. So don't go to institution because it's really great. Go to institution because it makes you really great. So think about how you're going to perform at that institution. And also think about the distance. How far away is it for you to go to school there and visit your parents? Or is that going to be a problem for you? My sister thrived at a school that was 6 hours away. Me, not so much. I wouldn't have done well at a school that far away. I didn't do that well being 45 minutes away from my parents. So that's something to consider. If distance is a problem for you, you may want to think about that. And finally, think about the size of the school itself. UT Austin is a very, very big school. I went to a very small high school because I'm from a small town. And I didn't think about that. I was top 4% of my class. I did athletics. I was in National Honor Society. I was a great student. But when I got to UT, everyone else was a great student too. And that was a really, really huge school. I wasn't used to that environment. I had 460 graduates in my high school class. I had about the same amount in my first chemistry class. So it was really, really difficult to adjust to that. So think about big schools versus medium-sized versus small schools. Also think about private schools versus public schools. Private schools get a bad rap because they're expensive, but they know that they're expensive. So a lot of the time they will provide scholarships to deserving students to offset those costs and allow you to be able to afford them. So don't shy away from private schools because you think you can afford them. You'd be surprised how many private schools you can actually afford if you're a good student and deserving of those scholarships. So give them a look, and don't shy away from small schools. They offer a lot of the same amenities and things that bigger universities can provide. So look at those too. I think if I could do it all the way over, I would definitely pick a small school or a private school because I think I would have thrived in that environment. I don't regret my time at UT. I learned a lot about myself, and I think that I've grown tremendously because of that experience. But it was very, very difficult for me to adjust. The people and the environment that I was around was not something I was used to. I had a difficult time adjusting with my student body because of my background and the way that I looked and the way that I spoke. I had a lot of difficulties meeting people and having people feel comfortable with me, and it was just a whole nother bug to talk about. But it was a very hard time, and I really didn't enjoy my time in the moment at UT. I hated it. I regretted it at the time. I wish I could have changed my mind. Hindsight is 2020. Looking back, I see all the lessons that I've learned. That's probably why I work in higher education now, because of all of the things that I learned, and I don't want students to make those same mistakes. But you really have to do your research. This is a really big investment for you and your family, and you want to make sure that you make the right decision. So if you're thinking about going to college, do it, but make sure you're picking the right one.